Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I am Noelle and today we are doing a speed run. As many of you guys know, I'm going on a trip very shortly and I have many things to do and not nearly enough time to do it. So today was set aside to do a lot of small things as quickly as I can, hopefully in maybe 1.5 days. Let's go to the board and we will talk about it. Okay, Black Angelica gown is getting made. She has sleeves. Totally separate video. We're not gonna worry about that today. Next up on the list is sashes. I do need to make a bunch of sashes today, so we're gonna try to make, I think, 5 or 6. That's a lot. I also decided I wanted a copper petticoat. Why do I do this to myself? So we're gonna try to do that today. If both of these things get done, which I'm not sure, then I'll move on to making a Kiten. We're gonna see if that's gonna happen all in this short span of time. So let's see what happens. Here they are. They came from Fabric Mart. Do not recommend. So these are 1-yard cuts of poly taffeta. I hate all of it. Weirdly, they all feel different. Like some of them feel the same. A lot of them feel like nylon weirdly, but like this one is super floppy and has like a weird backing on it. And I don't know how you call this taffeta. Like just chaos in this purchase, first of all. Second of all, they feel really gross. You can do way better for poly taffeta. Like, do not recommend. They were $5. And I needed sashes. So this is what's happening. We're just gonna make them out of these fabrics. However, I do not need all of these for this trip. I do need this color. Let's do the white. That seems like a good idea. Is this white? Is this what we call white? This seems like grayish, but this is lilac, even though it's reading white. So I guess this is the one that they called white. So sure, let's do that. That's not what I would call white. Do I need any more of these? I don't think so, but I'm going to consult my list before we head on. I also want to make a copper one for sure. Not this copper. The copper that is there. I checked the list. The list says pink would also be good. So I'm going to make these 3 and that other copper one. If I have space left over at the end of black taffeta, I will make a black one too, although I don't need it right now. I'm going to pull out this dark silvery gray. This is reading a lot lighter on camera than it is in person. And this color, which I really just love, as stretch goals to see if I can possibly get these done. If I can't, that's fine. Otherwise, we're going to save the rest of them for later because I don't need them for this trip and there's no point in spending my time today working on them. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is iron and then we're going to move on to cutting, so enjoy your montage. Okay, so they're all cut and I have 3 of each. So they're all somewhere between 150 something and 180 something inches, depending on how long their fabric was. I also made sure that I had the correct thread to do this with, which thank goodness I have this thread cabinet full of thread that people have given me because I actually didn't check that beforehand. Cool beans. I have everything's fine. I have enough stuff that's like good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these. I have to sew them independently. And I'm going to do those with French seams. And then I'm going to go through and do rolled hem along the entire path of both sides of it and then double roll the edges of the ends. And that is going to be how it's going to go. Okay, it's a very long time later, but I do have these 4 done. The 2 stretch goal ones are still here, cut up. I am going to pause on that. Mark this as done because the ones that I absolutely need to get done are done, and move on to the copper petticoat. Once that's done, if I have time, I will come back and do the other sashes. Okay, I put bonus sashes in here for later. Just want to share a little learning. I did this 2 ways. The copper one I sewed with French seams all 3 pieces together and then tried to do the tiny hem. It's a mess. It's a total mess. I might remake that one later. It's probably fine. It's all on the back side. No one's gonna see it. It's all scrunched up around your waist, so I'm probably gonna leave it. The other 3, what I did was I took each of the 3 sections of each of them and went ahead and did the hemming, the tiny rolled hem on it, and then I did the French seaming of them and the rolling of the end of each side. Much better. So I would go with that if I were you. Okay, so we have the same coppery pumpkin green shot fabric that we used to make this dressing gown. I'm gonna cut off exactly the same as I did just a few days ago. To make the black skirt, I'm gonna cut off 45 inches, seam up the sides, leaving slits at the top, attach it to a waistband, exactly as I did last time. You guys all sat through that, so I'm not gonna make you sit through this. I'll make you a little montage though. Okay, this lady is done. She has a hem, she has her tape sewn down, everything is cool. We are ready to move on. This lady will become a chiton. Again, a chiton is just a tube of fabric that also has a baby hem around the top. So I'm going to take 2 pieces of fabric, seam them up the side, probably a French seam, and then I'm going to do the baby hems first, hopefully, if I can figure out how long this thing should be. I think I have the number. I think it's 61 inches. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew them together. Then I have these cool, I don't know, what do you call these? Buttons? Charms? Necklace parts? Pieces of metal. These cool pieces of metal that have holes in each side. I use these exact same ones on my blue chiton, so I'm gonna use these again because this one's gonna be a little witchy, so it seemed appropriate. And I'm just gonna put those up the sleeve arms to make this guy happen. So here we go. First thing we're gonna do is give her a little press, measure out some fabric, and get her cut. Let me go over my plan of attack with you guys so you understand what I'm doing. So these are 2 pieces of fabric that are 61 inches long. I have put a baby hem at the bottom of each one, and that's going to definitely be the bottom. Then I'm going to French seam up to 10 inches on each side, so there's a 10-inch armhole, that's where my arm goes out, so that they're connected to each other. And then once they're connected to each other, I will true them up so that they are, in fact, the same height. And then I will baby hem the top here and possibly this 10 inches. If I can't figure out how to do that properly, I will go ahead and just double roll hem that. Okay, so this black puddle right here is completely done. I did all the things I said I was going to do, so it's completely hemmed all the way around and attached and all that stuff. So I like the way that this one drapes, so I'm going to do the measurement across the back, which is a taut line, and across the front, which is a not taut line, which lets it kind of dangle down a little bit, and then place my half moons, which are, you know, the same ones, in the same places. So what I do is I go ahead and I let this one be a little bit longer, so it makes a nice little drape there. And then the end ones are both on the end there, and then I kind of ease out the difference in the arms. Because you're using up more fabric on the front, it'll be you know, they're not perfectly even all the way on here, so I just sort of ease out the difference. Okay, flash decision. I'm gonna do this later on because it's hand sewing. I'm trying to get everything that needs to be machine sewn before I leave done. So I'm gonna go back and do these extra sashes. I gave up my idea of having a red day bodice. I'm also not gonna do the underground for this. I'll make it later, but it will get made, just not for this. So I'm gonna, the chiton will get done. I'm not gonna do the red day bodice. I will do that as soon as I get home though. So I think I'm looking good to go ahead and get those extra sashes done. So I'm going to do that. And then finish this chitin, and then we will be over and out. The next video you would see is the black Angelica gown, which will be exciting. That is months and months in the making. She's looking good though. Like, all of this is just basting, so that'll go away, but she's pretty much done. I just need to do a few more hand sewing things on her. And then we'll be on the trip, and I'll be vlogging from the trip too, so you guys will get to come along and see what happens on that. Okay, these babies are all done. I have a cute little box. I have another box for when I decide I want more. A different box. A longer box. But I thought this was cute. Lori Tavin is a friend of mine, and she has a cute little box full of sashes that she's made. So this is my box. I love it. We are done. Boop. Getting things done. Okay, here's what I mean. So the back, this is the center point. The back is only 13 inches wide, so I put these 6.5 inches off center to make 13 inches. The front is 18 inches. And if I marry these 2 points, it lets the front like dangle down a little bit. So that's what we want out of this. So we're gonna go ahead and put whatever those things are called, jewels, beads, whatever, between these 2 points, and then also in the end. And then I'll kind of just find the points between to put them, sort of easing out that 5-inch difference. Okay, here is what that looks like going down the arms. The neck side is every 3 inches, and the back side is every 3 and 2/3 inches. Yeah, so they're all mathed out so that they're even. They will drape on the arm beautifully. It's great. Very excited to get this guy done. And we are feature complete on the chitin, so I just need to finish her up and we're ready to go. That's very exciting. Alrighty, well, we've done all the small stuff. So now it's just packing, finishing up Angelica here and getting it all in the suitcases and ready to go to St. Louis and then South Carolina. I'm very excited about this trip. I don't know if I've told everyone out loud here. I think so, that I have long COVID. So I've been exhausted for the last 3 months, so I don't know how this trip's gonna go, but I'm gonna bring you guys along to find out. So the next vlog you see will probably be Angelica, and then I'll start releasing vlogs of what happened on the trip. I don't know if there's gonna be 1 or 2, we'll see. I might divide it into the 2 parts of the trip. I have no idea yet. Anyway, stay tuned for that. Leave me comments down below. Let me know what you're working on, how you're doing, what you're listening to, what you're watching, all that stuff. I am watching Loki. I am watching Wheel of Time again because it just finished for me. Like the second season just happened, so I've been watching it as a read-through. What else have I been watching? I've been listening to a lot of Stuff You Should Know. I'm listening currently to the one on LSD in case you wanted to know, because I needed to pick me up after listening to the Apache Wars. Man, was that dismal. Okay, so let me know what you guys are into, what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're listening to, all that stuff down below. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. It super helps us out as YouTubers. Leave us comments. That also helps us out as YouTubers. Hit subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell if you want to, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Bye guys!